Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. You can probably hear me shuffling around stuff. I'm looking for something. I'm trying to find stuff. We don't need that camera for the moment, I suppose, so we'll just stick with this camera. And we are getting back to work on Yndrasta. We're going to work on her blades today. I'm going to lay some color down, and with this color, we are probably going to follow suit with the wings, I think. I don't know if we'll do the wings today. We might. We might get to the wings. I'm looking for my tape for masking off areas. Oh, there it is. There we go. It's hidden. No, where's my dispenser, though? Where is my tape dispensary? I don't know. It is missing. It is somewhere. I can't find. There it is. I found. Jeez, I got stuff all over the place, man. My office is a mess. It's a mess. What I was looking for was this. My masking tape dispensary. Because basically, we are going to airbrush the blades. So for that, we already have a layer of sealant on the speartip and sword. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off one facet of the sword. And then basically, lay in the initial gradients. And then we'll probably finish off by hand. Now, to get things rolling, I am going to use Minotaur's red ore, which essentially is just like their red clear color, as you can see there. And I'm going to use blue ore, which essentially is just their Minotaur blue. These are both basically like they're clear colors, but they have they're more like magenta and cyan, which is fine because basically what I'm going to do is I'll probably lay down. Should I do the red first and then the blue? Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I could mix these in the brush, but I think I will lay them down individually. That way it looks a little bit interesting. Now, actually I'll give these a quick mix to get them started. I've already got my airbrush all set up, ready to go. I've got fresh water. Just give these things a quick little mix. They don't really need it. I mentioned that before. Because of the nature of these paints, they're perfectly clear. And so you don't really see pigment separating on them. And these paints have sat for a while. I have not touched them. As opposed to like the metal. The metal has sat for a while and it is separated. I'm almost scared to see what kind of condition it's in. How well it mixes. It should mix well because airbrush formulated paint typically, is pretty good. Yeah, see, like here's Minotaur's pure silver. And you can see here, the pigment is all sitting there, but the medium is like up here. You can kind of see it sloshing around a little bit. So that's a lot of separation. Now, mind you, I have not used this paint. I don't even think the seal's broken on it. Or is it? Oh no, it's not. I haven't even broken the seal on this. So the paint should still mix really well. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give it a quick shake just because. Let's see. I don't even have agitator. I don't even know if this comes with an agitator in it. Oh yeah, it definitely needs more mixing and shaking. You can still see it. There's still that sediment line there. So yeah, this Oh yeah, I can feel it just barely moving. Yeah. Should throw an agitator in this before I, lose the capacity to use this paint at all. I've actually not used this color. I've used Minotaur's silvers before, and they work out fine. They look good. It's not like chrome like on these models here, but yeah. Kim, hello. God, I hate commercials on platforms. It's the reason I pay for YouTube Premium. I don't know if I can shut them off. I know once you follow, I think if you're a Twitch subscriber, then you don't really get the ads, I believe. Don't quote me on that. No, I can see bubbles popping up now. So it is thoroughly mixed. But yeah, I was a little bit concerned about that. I'm not even using the paint, but I mean, like, here I am farting around with it. But it's actually pretty good, because I mean, like, any bottles of paint that you don't use often, and especially if you know that they're a thin body paint, yeah, they're going to separate like crazy. Yeah, it looks okay now. It looked really messed up earlier, but now looks okay. And I can see the bubbles in the surface. So it should be okay now. We're okay. We're okay. Alrighty. Oh, let's grab tape, paper towel. So first thing first, we're going to grab some of our masking tape, and we're going to tape off one half of the Speartip and the sword. We'll probably work on the sword's forward facing first, and I should say the blade edges forward facing first, and then move to the back sides. Work on the back side, as it were. All right, now, okay, let's grab a little bit of tape. It's been sitting out for a bit. That should be plenty. That's probably too much, but whatever. So with this, basically all I'm going to do is I want to concentrate mostly on that leading edge. Just like so. Yeah. Just like that. I'm not too worried about that portion, but I am going to put tape right across that little, where, like, there's that little facet where the symbol sits right there, and there's that little edge along the blade, and so I don't want to get any paint on that. We can always, do that by hand later on, but we're just going to get just that edge there. Now I'm going to do basically the stereotypical way of doing this effect, which essentially is a non-metallic metal effect, but we're going to do it in such a way. There we go. There. So that part of the blade is sectioned off, and in fact, as long as this still retains some tackiness, we can reverse this and put it on the other side of the sword. Now let's do the Speartip. Speartip. Grab a bit of that. Try and carefully place this. I'm looking to just get right on that seam, right between the facets. It's too far. There it is, right there. Piss off. I like Tamiya tape in these instances because it is fairly soft and pliable, that you can kind of squish it around. And in fact, they have a tape that is good for doing like curvatures and around surfaces and stuff. It's pretty good for that as well. As you may or may not have guessed, I am a fan of Tamiya products. I do enjoy them. So, there we go. Now then, we probably can use some painter's tape just to avoid any kind of overspray. Although I'm using my Renegade Chrome to lay this colors down, so there really shouldn't be too much overspray. And as long as I'm careful with how I'm applying it, it should be fine. You know what though? I'm going to move the rest of these models just because it is running the risk of hitting them with color. So I just move them out of the way. And I probably should set up a little break here just so that in case I get really vigorous with my brushing. I just use like a little box. This is just that box for the Citadel hand carrying thingy. The paint stick thing. You know. I just use that as a break just to stop any kind of paint flowing over there. Especially when I'm airbrushing. I'm not too worried about my paint bottles getting caught with a little bit of paint. That's fine. But yeah. In her one hand, it looks like she's holding a huge, ridiculous sword. Alright, so we're going to use the red first, which looks more like a magenta, but it's probably a little bit deeper than a regular magenta, as opposed to the irregular magenta. We already gave him a quick little shake, so we are good to go. And what am I spraying at? I think I'm spraying it around, about 20 psi. So I'm spraying it around 20 psi. I'm just untangling my hose here. I've got a nice long hose for this, but holy cramoles. She gets wound up, caught up, then she gets all tangled up. Actually, I'm going to undo my brush here. There we go. Now the line's all nice and straight. The kind of line I use is it's a braided ribbon kind of cord with a quick release adapter on it. It's very, very handy. Okay. Let's get to work. So yeah, we're going to lay down the magenta first and then lay down the cyan. That in combination will give us a purplish tone. But because we're laying the magenta down first, we're going to get a sort of reddish blend out from the transitions. Because basically I'm looking for, I could lay the cyan down first and then blend the magenta in, and it'll still give me those purple tones, but it'll leave a blue. Actually, you know what? Maybe we will do it that way. I think, yeah, because initially I was thinking of like a blue-purple kind of theme going on with the purples. And so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will lay the cyan down first. Okay, we'll lay the cyan down first. I call it cyan, but it's like, it's blue. But it's closer to cyan. Grab a little bit of... Put a couple drops in there. Just a couple drops. Here, let's test it right up on the box. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Actually, that might be a little too high. Oh, no, that's all right. So basically what we're going to do is create the gradient. I don't know if we're going to do a double. Maybe I'll build a little bit up towards the tip and a little bit towards the base, leaving the middle a bit silver, just like this. I don't know if you guys can see this very well, but too bad. dry tip is real with these colors. If you've never used Minotaur, especially when you're working, you know, away from the model. Yeah, there we go. Just laying a little bit of that blue down. I suppose I can move the camera. You know what? I'll move the camera. Okay, hold on. You're going for a ride. See, I often don't point the camera down because it's just a little bit, it's a little bit funny. Just the reflections and everything like that. Hold on, I'm going to change the focus. Change it right around there. Should be plenty good, right? Yeah, it's plenty good. All right. Yeah, so you can already see there's a bit of blue on the tip of the sword, and we're going to build it towards the base of the sword as well. But I want it a little bit more intense towards the tip. Go. So you can kind of see on the blade there now. Dry tip. I just use an old toothbrush to scrub off the dry tip. That's all. I don't use anything too fancy. Toothbrush, an old toothbrush, does the trick just fine. Yep, mostly happy with that. We'll do the same thing on this side. We'll do tip and base. That. Same. So now really fast, we're going to switch over to the other side of the blades. Try and keep the tape intact so that we can pretty much just, you know, fudge it. Just like so. So you can see on that side of the blade how nice and blue that is. It's actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty fun just doing the one side in comparison to the other side, how clean the other side looks. You know? Anyway. Anyway. Let's see here. If we can do this in one shot. Ish, I think. Whoop, shit. Man. So basically what I'm doing is I'm basically trying to use this more like a stencil in a sense. There we go. Yeah, there, that's it, right there. Nope, that's off. I can see the seam of the other side of the blade. Shoot. Okay. Again, like I said, if you have a sealant on the surface, you should be able to do this no problem and not worry about pulling paint or anything like that. Pulling paint, even with Tamiya tape, in all my years of using Tamiya tape, has it ever pulled at the paint job? But you just never know, so you always should be cautious. I need an extra set of hands is what I need. There we go. That's it right there. Yep. Okay. Do the other spear. Take care of that. Do. Right around there. Okay. And okay. There. That should be good. And we're going to treat it the same way. Holy moly. Whew. I should probably put the cap on. Oh, dry tip. Dry tip. Dry tip. Oh, dang it. I don't want to turn the PSI up because then you just probably get a lot of sputtering. There we go. There we go. Got that side. Go. Got that side. You guys can kind of see the light reflecting off it. Okay, so I'm going to put the cap on this though, just to slow the paint from drying out too much. And let's see if we can't do the other sides. Now, because we had done two ends on this side, we're basically only looking to do the middle of the sword on this side. So I'm just going to use the same bit of tape. I'm going to turn around now because I'm not too concerned with catching the handle of the sword, or the spear tip I should say. There we go. There we go. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through the center and just try and create a gradient right in there. And that should be mostly it. For this color anyway. Dry tip. Again, dry tip is a very real thing. It's annoying. But if you want to airbrush, these are the things you have to deal with. Sometimes if I get really a really bad case of dry tip, I just use my X-Acto blade and just pull off. There we go. You can kind of see it on the blade. There's a little speck. That's it. But that's enough to throw off the color and the direction of color. Believe it or not, that's enough. Yep, there we go. So with this, we'll try and concentrate right through the center. Just like that. See that? Now again, this is just a fast method of doing way of I was reading the comment there, Greenleaf. Oh my god, wow, get naked. The camera's not even on me, man. This is just a fast method for non-metallic metalish type of effect. That. And so set that aside. Grab our tape. There. You can see that spear tip. Hopefully you can kind of see that. How the color kind of plays across. So we'll do that for this side. And yeah. So we will gently place this tape right along the edge, just like as evenly as possible, I should say. Come on. Yeah, should be fine. Pull that side so you can see the sword. Again, this is the fast method. This is not like a true representation of non-metallic metal. I mean, it's, I've discussed this many, many times about non-metallic metal. Man, piece a little bit long here. Let's go like that. Let's see if we can. There's too many damn pointy, spiky parts. Got it that time. All right. Grab our cyan. Pretty much every time we got to do a layer. We got to knock the dry tip off. It's just nature of the beast, kids. Nature of the beast. There. Okay. So as we lay the color in, I start off further away and then push in closer, just a little bit, just to build that color up a little bit more intensely on that side. Okay, that's it for that color. So now we are going to flush and rinse. Basically, I just use some water and I just empty it out into my painting cup. I have found, though, with these colors that if you don't thoroughly flush, that it can clog. Just the nature of how this paint works. That it does get into the little nooks and crannies of the brush. Burp. Oh, excuse me. I burpited. A little spritz of Windex. Just to make sure we thoroughly clean this out. Now, we're not too concerned with, cross-contamination because we are basically blending these on the surface anyway, but, Spray into my overspray jar. And then another flush of water. And that should be good. Basically, whenever I'm flushing with water, I used my little eyedropper. And basically, I flush the water back and forth. And once I see that there's no color, no contamination, what have you, then I know that it should be good. Next, we're going to jump over to red ore, which is more of a magenta color. So we're going to create a slight purple gradient within this effect, which is going to be kind of neat. I think neat and fun and neat. You can see the brush is nice, thoroughly clean. We're going to only throw about, 4 drops in. It's probably too much, but whatever. Yeah, that's a lot right there. It's only 4 drops. Yeah. So, let's get things started. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to just go over our previous steps. But I think we're going to try and concentrate a little closer, I think. Yeah, just like that. You probably can't really tell that it is magenta, but yeah. Dry tip. Okay. And that's all it takes. Just to shift that into purple is just a quick little layer. Push a little too much color. Yeah, so like the dry tip, it really throws your aim off. I actually ended up hitting the tip of that sword there. I was aiming at the center, but the spray came out and it deviated by just millimeters, really. But just a little bit of color is at the tip now of the sword. I don't know if that shows up on camera at all, but it's not a huge issue, but it's annoying. I do like how it kind of has like that haloing. It almost looks like, like the heat tempering on metal, when it starts changing kind of all sorts of colors, that's how it almost starts to look. I'm kind of liking it. And so I'm playing with fire here by doing it again. Yeah, it takes on a different quality. It's fun. I kind of like it. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I kind of like it. Where the hell happened to my cap? Oh, there it is. Put that on. We're gonna move the tape around. And if I absolutely hate it, well, then I can always just, you know, repaint it. Can always just repaint it. Yeah, like, I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but you see, like, the one side of the sword, see how it sees, you look very blue, but then you switch to this side and you can see how you can see the magenta in there. I mean, there's so much blue on the screen, I think it throws the camera off, but yeah. Anyway, let's do this side. What were we doing? I guess it really doesn't matter. We'll do the centers, I guess. Do 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 do. Ooh, almost. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Okay. Yeah, on the spear tip, I like how it looks on the spear tip. Yeah, I like that purple sheen more than just a blue. I am liking it. I am digging it. Yeah, I think I need to get myself those little alligator clip stands, you know, like a lot of the soldering stations use. I think I need one of those. I think I have that. It's getting kind of hard to see what I'm doing here. Yeah, screw it. Right there. If it's messed up, we'll always fix it later. We'll fix it later. Kim, already there, sitting in my underwear and painting in my living room. It's warm. Is it warm in Norway? What's warm in Norway? What is warm? Like what makes you go, good God, man, it's warm out. What temperature does it have to be? I'm curious. This goes for anybody in very northern climates. What exactly is warm to you? Because today, in where I am, it is, I think, 34 right now. And we're just past noon. Yeah, we're into 2 o'clock local time. 25°C. Really? 25°C? Man, that's beginning of springtime, man. Greenleaf. When I see you, it's always hot. Oh. It's so flattering, Adam. It's so flattering. Do the spear first. Yeah, I'm liking how it just, like, you can still see the blue, you can still see the cyan, but it shifts into, like, that purple tone. And it almost looks like the heat tempering, where you can see kind of almost the boundaries of blue and magentas. I kind of dig that. Laid a little too much on that side of the blade. Hopefully it doesn't come back and bite me in the bum. Just for gigs, I'm going to hit the tip as well with the magenta. just because I did it on the other side, just to emulate. Just so I can say, oh yeah, no, I meant to do that. No, I totally meant to do that. That was my plan. That was my plan. Yeah. Again, you can see once it starts reflecting in, you see how it gets darker in through that center. Isn't that just interesting? How it does that? I don't know. Are you guys not interested in this at all? Is this just boring crap to you guys? Kim, that's pretty much as warm as we get. It's almost never 30 here in this part of Norway. I'm in the north side of the Arctic Circle. Yeah, I remember we were talking about that like a while back, about like roughly where you are. I don't need to know your location, but I'm just saying. Yeah, because I mean, like where Norway is and where like Kim resides, that's pretty much like the Arctic Circle. And like in Canada, that's Nunavut. I'm just using a hairdryer to speed up a bit of the dry here. Although I suppose I could just work on the other side of the blades. Another thing I would caution anybody out there who has never used Minotaur, like the ghost tints. If you've never used the ghost tints, they finish glossy. So if that is not something that you like, be careful. Be warned. You have been warned. All right, we're going to do this front side. Gently peel off the paint. Yeah, see, I like how that looks. So you got the little bit of blue, and then pachow. It goes dark. Yeah, I like that. That's fun. Fun is fun. All right, we're going to try and line this up with our original position. Something like that. No. More like that. We'll try and line this up through the center. Just like so. Yeah, there we go. Nailed it. Kim, I live in a town called Tromsø. It's about 69 degrees north. Oof. Yeah, dude, that's up there. It's top of the world, dude. It's top of the world. That's cool, though. I'm not going to ask you the typical dumb questions that somebody would ask you. Like, do you have to deal with polar bears? Because in my parts, dealing with bears has a different meaning. Just saying. Dry tip. Dry tip. Oh, my nozzle keeps getting loose. Where's my brush? Oh. I don't know why the hell I put it down there. Scrubby dub. Scrubby dub. I loves to scrubby dub. Alright. Yeah. Oof. Hit it a little too hard there. Man, I keep screwing up on the blade. Like the sword blade. It's not bad. It's just I laid a little too much down. It's like really shiny. Oh, no, this tape is not sitting even. I can see this. I can see the spine. I thought I nailed it. Thought I did. I got cocky. Never get cocky, kid. There we go. Got it that time. Yeah, it almost takes on a heat treating vibe. It's kind of fun. Because basically this is kind of going to be what the process will be for the wings. Is laying this. We're going to go with cyan and red or magenta on these surfaces. Yeah, I like that. I like how that looks. I like the sheen of it all. Yeah. On camera here, I realize that it's not a really great representation of what is going on, but I am a-digging it. A-digging it. A-digging-oo. You ever watch those videos? Buddy pronouncing, he's like, I think Nigerian, and he's like teaching English classes how to pronounce words. It's pretty funny. Indiganu, he's trying to pronounce indigenous. Anyway. I don't know. I found it funny. Do this side. The sword. And if we're not 100% behind this, guess what? We can always cover it up. Cover it up. Cover it like a political scandal. Kim, yeah, we have like 7 months of winter here, and there are only polar bears on, I'm not going to say that word, Svalbard, not in the mainland Norway. Got a few brown bears, that's it. Oh yeah? Brown bears. Bears in general. I mean, like having any kind of bear in your country, is a concern. Especially since, their habitats are constantly diminishing. And so they constantly are in conflict with people. There we go. So it's always a concern. My oot? No, I still got plenty of color in there. I'm not oot. Just not coming out. There it is. There it is. And there we go. Give this a flush, and we'll carry on with the weapons. Take the cap off. Don't need my cap at the moment. Put some water. Rinse this sun gun out. So, I slapped a little bit of water in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. The damn light in the way. Can we see that with the light? Not really. Oh, you can kind of see the bottom. See how, like, you can still see right through the entire pot? That's because the color is clear. It is a perfect transparency. It's like glass. And that's the kind of quality I like when I'm going for a clear color. I want it to be clear like glass. I don't want a murkiness or fogginess or any of those other Nis words. I want it to be clear, especially when dealing with laying a metallic down, and then you want to have that, that race car kind of look. Yeah, you don't want any sort of... I might have to flush this with a little bit of alcohol. Just something more aggressive, I think. Just going to take a little bit of alcohol, drop it in. Basically, all I do is I just take my eyedropper and then just my bottle alcohol. That's all. But I'm just make sure it's dry. I don't want to introduce too much water in. And that's it. Just bloop, bloop, bloop. You'll probably still see it. No, it's pretty clear. Oh, shit. Sprayed it. Spray it right at the model and ruin all the paint. Just messed the whole processor right up. Now I'm just trying to get that needle. I can feel the needle sticking. Again, like I said, with the Minotaur colors, for whatever reason, yeah, they dry kind of aggressively. And it's pretty easy to clog your stuff. But the fun part is airbrushing alcohol. Get buzzed on the fumes. Catch a bit of a buzz, not a huge buzz. It's not like, we're looking to get polluted in here or anything like that. It's just a light little buzz. Just a little glow. Just get a little glow happening. That's all we're looking for. It's all anybody really wants, right? It's just a little glow. Yeah, that should be good. Should be good. Yeah, the needle's moving just fine, so should be good. Take a sip. Oh, yeah. All right. So, we've laid down our non-metallic metal effect on the blades. They should be good. Yeah. So now we can further the effect by using some very light metallics and create like little glints in it. But honestly, I don't really feel like it needs it. Although we could do it, but I don't really feel like we have to. If we were going to do that, I would probably use something like a light color like the Scale 75 stuff. They have a really great light purple and blue and a rose tone that would probably fit the bill pretty good. Actually, I kind of need to look up close. Yeah, see, like there's some areas that are like where it gets close to the base of the blades that I think I need more color. I think. I'm trying to decide whether I feel like going through that process or not. And also too, I made a bit of a boo-boo. I got little spots here on my blade. It's kind of annoying me. It'll annoy me in pictures, I'm sure. Which is why I was thinking about busting out like a pure metallic and just creating like little glints in the blade. Screw it. Let's do it. Screw it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it, kids. So, let me bust out my Scale 75 colors. Oh, man. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? I mean, we could probably just use Amethyst. Amethyst Alchemist. Or Amethyst Alchemy. Man, that was hard to spit out. I could probably just use that. Could just use the blue, too. I got Cobalt Alchemy. Emerald? No. Perdo? No. Kunzite. It's a magenta. It's a little heavy though. Garnet? No. Tourmaline? No. Ruby? Definitely no. We could go to Turbodork. Turbo Dork might have our solution. No, because the Turbo Dork tend to be very saturated color. They don't have like very light color. No, I think we're gonna stick with the alchemy, the amethyst alchemy. So yeah, I think we're gonna use this, and we're just gonna create just some little striation lines and just a little bit of edging just within the colors themselves on the surface. Put that away. Let's give this paint a good shake. Oh yeah. I have it set to tooth chipper. Wow. Oh, there we go. I can feel the paint moving around now. I can hear it sloshing around. I kind of like that sound of the paint just kind of slashing around. I always give it just a little bit more of a shake, just to make sure. I don't feel anything funny in there, so should be good. All right, do we need to use the wet palette? Yeah, I suppose we can. Just to thin the color down just a bit. Remove the tape. My trusty, rusty Tamiya tape? Tamiya? Whatever. Yeah. Nope. Bumped the camera. The camera got bumped. There we go. We good? Nope. Good? Kind of. Move the lid here. There we go. Everything's still wet on the surface from last time. That was what, Wednesday we were doing this? Yeah, Wednesday. So, I'm probably going to have to clean off this cap. Grab my trusty, rusty poker. There we go. Yeah. It's good. Good. And we'll just slap a little bit right here. Ooh, jeez. It's a lot. Okay. I lied. It wasn't a little bit. It was a lot. All right. No mediums. And we're just going to thin the paint down just with the moisture. And that should do the trick for us. Yeah, like I said, I made a bit of a boo-boo here. Basically, what ended up happening was as I was laying the color down, it got too heavy. And it created just a little bit of a bubble on the surface. So I have this like little blue ring occurring on the blade. Yeah, it's like, at first you don't see it, but when you start to really look at it, it's like, oh, I don't think he intended to do that. Because it doesn't appear anywhere else on the model. Actually, I'm really digging the color though. I'm liking how that looks. It's unfortunate, again, like I said, that you guys can't quite see how it all looks. But it is fun. Alright, enough talking. Let's get to the painting. I've had enough of your rules. Yeah, should be okay. Alright. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw lines right through it. Like that. Just to break that up and to hide the crime, as it were. I don't hate it. I don't love it though. But I don't hate it. You can kind of see it on camera, but you can see how it's a different glow. Like it's not the same as the rest of the metallic finish. Which is fine, but on camera that can be really noticeable. Like in low light, like once it gets dark, you can see it quite a bit. Again, I don't hate it. I think I just didn't get the line thin enough. Yeah, it's a little too thick. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not crazy about it. I think I'm just going to take plasma or blue ore. I was going to call it plasma fluid because that's what it's called in the regular Minotaur colors, but I'm just going to throw a little drop on. Just a little drop. Just one drop. Bloop. I'm going to thin it way down, and I'm just going to correct it. I don't think I'm going to really touch this color. I don't need a lot. It's going to deepen it up a bit. With that glaze right on top of it, it's not so bad anymore. I'll do a couple more glazes. I think I'm just gonna push that little highlight I did. I'm just gonna push that down. I'm not crazy about it. But what are you gonna do? Kim, scale color change the labels on the metallic lines so I can see that the bottles you have are older than 8 months. Yeah, I bought them years ago. I've had these colors for 4 or 5 years. I've had these paints. They've served me well. They've served me well. And really the only concern with an older paint would be it becoming a bit tacky or unusable. Yeah, we're laying a heavy amount down in that center. I'm not sure this is probably the best call, but I don't know. I might be just mucking this up. I'm going to speed up that dry bit. It's almost tempting to just put chrome right back on top of it and try it again and just correct it. I'm almost hitting that point now where I just want to just hit it with chrome again. I know you guys probably can't see it very well, but to me, I can see it. It's noticeable. It's annoying me. And the color's pushing all over the place. God dang it. We're doing it. Let me get my tape back out. We're going to reapply chrome on that facet of the blade. Actually, is it dry now? Yes, it's dry. Yep, it's dry. Boo, 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 boo. Kim, I used up at least one bottle of black metal one in the 4 years since I got back into the hobby. I really like the base metal color. Sure. There's lots of things to like about the scale color metallics. I like them a lot. I early on became a very big fan of the paints. Their regular colors are good as well, but for me, the metallics are what really do it for me. I'm a fan of the metallics, as one might have guessed. Yeah, we're gonna lay chrome back down, and then we're gonna hit it with just tiny amounts of the blue and or cyan and magenta again, because I am not happy with this at all. Now, oftentimes I caution people about when using Minotaur, and I'm not 100% sure this should work. I mean, I'm going to use the mirror chrome. You can see it. See how the pigment is already separated. Oh, look at. Ooh, it's all murky. Anyway, I'm going to give this a quick shake. We're only going to use a little bit. It really shouldn't take that much. Just a couple drops. Oh, and I definitely need some alcohol in my container here. I usually just load this up, this little jar here, with a bit of alcohol for rinsing and, yeah, really for rinsing. I don't use it for thinning. Just a little bit, don't need much. The alcohol I'm using is only the 70%, so yeah, should be fine. I have what, 90%? 99% over here as well. This is when I really want to get aggressive and clean something. Alright. Keep that over there. Got the chrome mixed up. Let's grab a brush. Still spraying at a low PSI. Kim, the normal acrylics are pretty matte, and you like more satin paints, right? It's not really like a preference thing. It all depends. It all, like, again, I'm not a one or the other kind of guy. I use whatever's going to get the job done to however I want it. Come on, try not to put too much in here. There we go. Oh, it is running. Shit. It's running down my brush. Yeah, whenever I use this paint, though, I always clean with iso alcohol. Always. All right. Now, the thing as I was mentioning, I always, with Minotaur colors, I always recommend sealing before applying another layer on top. Now, I have not sealed it, so I'm curious to see if the color bleeds through the surface. Where the ghost tint was heaviest, because it finishes kind of glossy, you can see where it was, but that's actually because it's reflecting more light. So the smoother the surface, you are 100% going to get a much better chrome effect on that surface. So always bear that in mind, kids. This stuff dries pretty fast. Yep. Let's do another quick little layer. Not necessary, but yeah. Well, once we lay ghost tint on that, it'll knock that little shiny spot out. So, yeah, we'll be fine. use it too much. Dry tip? Fucking dry tip. Fucking work. Fucking dry tip. Alright. Come on. God damn it. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So we got it back to a nice chromy finish. There's only a little bit in there. No point in rinsing that or trying to put it back into the bottle. Although I am getting due to get a new bottle of chrome because this is getting pretty darn low. I'm about a quarter of the way down. Mind you, it doesn't take much chrome to do a paint job, so. But anyway, just gonna load up some alcohol, and we're gonna flush this out. Do 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 do. Just using this older brush here just to scrub the sides. Yeah, I probably could have used my 99% just to clear this up a bit. No, I don't see any of the ghost tint bleeding through, because normally if I was to lay like an acrylic color down, yeah, the ghost tint would bleed through. But I don't see that occurring here, so should be okay. Sorry, I'm still flushing here. Do. And we'll do one final thing of Windex. Just to make sure we got a nice thorough clean. Now we're going to bust out the ghost tints again. And do our same process. I'll lay down the blue first and then lay down the magenta. And then hopefully I don't mess it up again. Because that'd be annoying. That'd be really annoying if I messed it all up again. I've been working at this for an hour 15, and yeah, all we've done is just initial transitions on the blades, eh? Now, different topic, same subject, the wings. What should we do for the wing? I guess I should work on the cloak next, because after I'm done these blades, I'm going to take a break from this main body, and I think we'll get to the cloak and the tree bit, and then we can get to the wings. I think, anyway. I think that's what we'll do. You think? I think. Alright. So, let's grab our blue ore, or plasma fluid as it's otherwise known. Put 2 drops in. 1, 2. Should be plenty. We don't really need that much. We're only doing one facet of the blade. This is through the center, yes. It's through the center. Something like that. You can see how that bright spot disappears. Yeah. If I had to probably put down another gloss layer, the blade probably would have went really shiny. There we go. Okay, we'll give that a quick flush. Probably don't need to really flush it, just because we're already going to be mixing this anyway. But we'll do it anyway. Do-do-do-do-do. Do 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 do. All right, let's grab our magenta. Put a couple, just 2 drops. Probably not even necessary for that much, but who knows? Who cares? We're doing it. Okay. And that, I think, is pretty much where I wanted it. Yeah, right there. And there's no funny business going on. I am happy with where that is. Done. We're calling that a win. We're winning. Winning. We are winning. You need that tiger blood to win. So, just so you guys know. Come on. I suppose we probably could get started on the wings. I suppose. I think I'd rather get to the cloak, though, next. The cloak should go by fairly quickly, as it should be just straightforward, because I'm just looking at creating a purpley cloth and a tree trunk. There are some little doodads on the cloak. We'll get to that. But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. It's not like all the effort we put into the main body, where we're working on the face, doing gemstones, doing the blades of weapons, and all this gibbly-gook, right? All right, let's grab a little bit of alcohol, Isa alcohol. Let that sit in the blade. Sit in the blade. Sit in the brush. Holy man! Let it sit in the blade. We'll leave that a moment. I'm going to have a drink. Anybody who's curious, I'm just drinking some diet root beer. Alright, this has had plenty of time to dry. And boom, it's all messed up. No, it's good. It's all good. You guys probably can't tell, but I'm happy with how it looks now. The way it looked before, all messed up. The way it looks now, purdy. It looks purdy. And that's all I want, is I want purdy. I'm only interested in pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just got to be pretty. Oh. Okay. I mean, we could edge the swords, I suppose, or the weapons, as they do taper off in brightness. just the very cutting edge of the swords. The color does kind of disappear. Okay, you convinced me. We'll do just the outer edge. For that, I'm going to use some white alchemy from scale 75. Give it a little mix. Oh, yeah. I was talking, I think, last episode about using white alchemy on the armor itself. I still may go through that process and very lightly just catch corners and such with this color. I may. All depends on how silly I'm feeling. And to be honest, I feel silly all the time. Kim, that would look cool. Do the edge. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, we're just going to use some white alchemy. And I'm going to slap that onto the palette. Just a drop. Oh, excuse me. Pop making me burp. Just a bit. That's all we need. And grab a brush. All right. Just a little bit. Thinning it out with the water in the palette. I don't want too much on there. And we're just going to go around the edge of the weapons. Just like so. This could just as easily be white paint as well, doing this effect. But because it has, white alchemy has metallic in it, that's why I use in these instances. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I don't know how well you guys can see it on camera, but yeah, you can see the definable edge now on that spear tip. Yeah, that looks a lot better to me. And as long as it's nice and neat, it should work out just fine. It should be seamless, because you don't really want, you know, it to look obvious, which is why I redid the sword blade, because it looked obvious with the brush strokes that I was leaving behind that it was, you know, not intentional. And so you really don't want it to look unintentional, right? You always want to be very deliberate. Take your time. Don't ever be in a rush. Because when you're in a rush, that's when mistakes happen. Yeah, you should be able to see that on camera. How there's a definable edge now. But when you look at it like in a lower light, that edge glows in contrast to the rest of the paint. So just the way the lighting works, which is why I'm thinking about using it on corners and stuff of the main body of armor, just to help preserve that in low light type situations. Because again, when I'm thinking of this model, the end result, I'm thinking about how it's going to look under lights and camera and, you know, all that, right? I'm not really worried about how tight the color blend is, because it's not really the kind of paint I concern myself with, really. I'm more concerned with just does it look cool, right? Does it look cool? Then great. If it doesn't, why not, right? It's a little bit tricky to get this blade edge. Trying not to change my angle too much. There it is. Plus 2, the paint is a little bit thin, so I am having to apply it almost like a glaze along the edge. You can see the sword edge there now. Yeah, you can see that a lot better now. Right? That's what I'm looking for. Just to make that sword just look cool. Because you don't really see it here. Like here, look at the sword edge there. So you don't see that cutting edge of it. Even as I move, and you can barely see the metallic paint. So once we do a little bit of this color, or lack of color really, it's a white metallic. But yeah. So, and you may notice because I know that the paint is thin, I'm treating it like a glaze, so I'm pushing it to where I want it to build intensity, which is up at the peak. And that's why I push the color in the direction in which I'm doing it. There. And so now you can see there's a definable edge on that sword now. And so under lower light, that cutting edge will become more apparent. It doesn't really show up on camera here very well, but to the eye, it almost looks like the blade has like a razor edge to it. I wouldn't mind catching the seam, but I'm not too worried about that. And because of the way I had laid the paint or laid the tape down, there you can still see a little bit of the spine of the silver running through. I don't know if that shows up on camera very well, but yeah. And so that's that for the blades, really. That's really all the work I wanted to do on them. For giggles, let's use a little bit of this white alchemy just because we have it out. I'm going to use it on her collar. The little gold or silver spikes jumping up from her left and right. Just these two spikes. I'm going to do just a little edge, like a high point edge. Just a little bit. I do not want to lay too much paint down. Just to capture the tops. Just like that. Chrome paint is fantastic, but on miniatures and to accomplish a particular effect you're going after, you probably still have to lay down some colors. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to see under this light, but looks okay to me. Because another spot I wanted to lay it in was the collar. Just at the corner of the collar. Just a very light highlight. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Kind of. Yeah, because it's kind of a thin glaze, I can actually treat it like such and just slowly build to the effect. Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think also the other thing is I want to use... Now that I can see the blades now of the weapons, the spear tip and the sword, how they have a bit more of a purple value to them, I kind of want that in the runes that we've created. And I think I'm going to take some of this plasma, or the cyan minotaur color, And I'm just going to allow a little bit inside the icons. I'm just going to let it fall inside. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll try it on the Speartip and I'll see how that looks. If it looks like crap, well then I won't carry on. I can always paint over it. I probably... I don't know how it will react if I use Flow Aid. Better not. I'll lay it a little too much down. So I'm quickly grab my brush, siphon some of that color out, basically feather it out. Hell, I like that a lot better now. It's got that purple value, it's bright, it's a white inside there, but the blue is kind of clinging to the edges. So it's giving you that purple blue look on the sides, and it matches with the rest of the weapon better. Because even on the blades themselves, you can see the cyan, you can see a bit of magenta. Again, it's kind of like the heat treating, where you see, you know, the gradients of color occurring and the color changes. That's what it kind of has, that vibe. It's almost like the blades are heat treated, but it's not. It is, but it isn't there. All right, we're going to do that again. Let's grab a little bit more of the color. Try not to saturate too heavily. Might follow a frame because I'm concentrating here because I want to do this. I want to emulate what I just did again. Yeah, push more of that cyan up. Yeah. Yeah, because this time now I had it a little bit thinner. It sits in the rune a lot better. And I like that. I like it like that, with that little bit of blue in there. We're going to carry on. Grab a little bit more of the color. Yeah, that's lots. Snap it in. Yeah. This one here, I think I'm going to feather it out a bit. Pull some of that color out. It's a little tense. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like the runes a lot better now. I wasn't feeling the runes earlier, but now that the color and the runes and the blades kind of feel, you know, similar, I'm liking it a lot more. Kim, the rule of cool is a good way to look at painting. Don't get hung up on realism. No, I don't. I rarely ever get hung up on realism, even when I did scale modeling. And mind you, I mean, like a lot of my scale modeling, it was spaceships and stuff like that. So, you know, it's kind of hard to, you know, claim realism when you're working on spaceships and, you know, sci-fi stuff. Yes, I'm 100% happier with this. I just got to pull some of that color out. It's a little too intense. But I definitely like the values a lot more. That purple blue at play with each other. Yeah. It also deepens up some of the color in the upper portion of the rune, creating more of an intense shadowy kind of look. I like it. I like it a lot. Kim, it needs to be broken up. Needs to be broken up the chrome, or it will just be bright thing on the table. So I like that you're doing some of the edges and stuff to break it up more. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, once the cloak is in place, That's definitely going to make the armor feel more chrome, but it also is going to push back once the stairs and the base gets done, because those are all going to be matte colors and everything like that. Like, definitely I'm going to go for that visual contrast between shiny stuff and matte stuff, as well as chromey stuff and non-chrome stuff, right? Because, like, on her, only the scroll, the handles of her weapons, her flesh, and the leather, those are the only things that are not shiny on her. So there's not a lot of not shininess, right? But once the cloak is in place, that's going to add some gravity to her and not feel so, you know, so hilarious with the chrome. Alright, I'm just doing the rune above her head. Whatever in hell this rune is supposed to be anyway. Yeah, I like it with that little spot of blue in there. It almost gives it a glow. It almost has a glowy quality to it. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but I am definitely liking that. Now I'm thinking that I think I may want to use a bit of blue in the highlights or the shadows of the cloak and everything. I have done that effect before. The Eldar Yanid models, the what was it? What the hell's he called? Buddy with the sword. You know who I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm just finishing flushing my brush. I just had left the alcohol there just to, you know, slowly break shit up. Yeah. I am mostly okay with where she's all heading. Sorry, I'm just blowing up my airbrush. In case it's kind of loud for some of ya. Yeah. I am definitely feeling it more now. I say that every time, but it's real this time. And I think maybe that blue was what's missing in the letters on her scroll work. Is that little hint of blue in the color. Just so it doesn't feel like the same purple that was used elsewhere. Because the other thing that I was toying with was like a light sourcing. A reflected light in the handles. With just a little bit of blue, building to a brighter blue intensity down here, so it feels like maybe something was at the base and it's kind of reflecting a bit of light or catch light up at the surface. That was another idea. But then if I did that, I'd have to do it on the armor and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if I feel like going through all that trouble. It's so much trouble. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with where she's at right now. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I realize you guys really can't see it all that well. I suppose if you go to like Instagram or whatever, I have a few pictures, but not of what I'm currently working on. Maybe I'll have to take a picture of this later and show how this looks with her colored weapons. Again, though, on camera, it doesn't translate very well. It's looking at it in person, and you can just see how intense the colors are. Because it's intense. Yeah. I think I should probably stop working on her for the moment before I end up ruining something. Oh, I gotta still do this comet tail on her hip, though. Oops. We'll get to that later. We'll do it later. I'm liking it so far. I'm feeling much more positive about it. Kim, looks good so far, but I find the chrome looks better in person than in video and pics, so I like it so far. Yeah, well, I mean, and if anybody who's ever used this stuff, you know what I'm talking about here. Anybody who hasn't is kind of like, well, I mean, yeah, it looks kind of cool. It looks shiny, and it looks okay, but you haven't seen it in person. And in person, like, her armor looks like metal. Like, she looks like she's metal. You know what? Can we show? I gotta figure out a way to you know what? Here, you know what? I know. I'll use this. Oop. Yeah, this is the artwork. Is that all dry? Yeah, it's all dry. I don't want to mess my book up. Let me see here. Should that almost corrects some of the white balance, eh? Let me see here. Let's go this. Let's change the focus. Just a little bit like that. That should be good, right? Right? And let's see here. Yeah, it's because I have like one light source, but it's a fairly broad light source, so it, casts a big light. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. Oh, you know what I could do? I could probably turn that gain down. Again, it's all about trying to figure out how to photograph this shit properly, right? And capture this shit in camera. I'm gonna turn the exposure way down. Okay. Exposure's been dropped dramatically, but this should give you an idea of the color. Yeah, I like that blue-purple look. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Again, this is more of a, simple illustrated way of doing non-metallic metal. This is a fairly common way of doing it. We're basically on a sword tip, right? You do one half of the blade, and on the other facet you do the opposites, right? And then you just edge the whole damn thing, and that's it. That's non-metallic metal in the classic sense of kind of like illustrated art. But yeah, what I need is another light over coming from like this way, so you can kind of see a little bit better. But here, the weapons look really, really bright, don't they? Like that. I have the power. Yeah, me likey. You can also see like where we laid the metallic paints, like on the weapons, where we did a little bit of edge highlightings and stuff like that. You can see how like the light still captures those. Yeah. I am a digging it. Yep. I'm a digging it. I gotta fix the camera again. Gotta turn the gain back up a bit. No, not the gain. The exposure. Oops. Come back up right around there. That should be good. Really, it's the chrome. It's the bright chrome that makes this really hard to photograph. That's why. Because it bounces so much light back. It makes it very, very challenging photographing. Oh, man. Okay. Airbrush cleaned. Good for another go. I think we'll take a break from her. So that means let's work on the cloak and the tree. Right? I think. Possibly. I guess I could do the gemstones. Excuse me. You know what? I think I'll do the gemstones. No, we'll work on the gemstones. What time we at here? Holy camolies. Yeah. Do I have any Nagroth Night on the thing? I do. I think it's Nagroth Night. Should be Nagroth Night. Yeah. So basically with this, I'm just going to do a little bit of layering. Let's clean up some of these edges here. Yeah. All right. So, with this, do I have a color on here? I do not. So, let's take some white. I'll just use golden. I'll use golden white, golden high flow. Give it a quick shake. Yeah, I just had an idea. I think I'll build up a little bit of highlights on the gemstone with white. So I'll just add white to the purple or the Nagroth Night, whatever the hell it is I'm using. And then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to apply some ghost tint, the blue. And that should catch some of the blue. Oop, jeez. Quite a bit came out. Yeah, that should be fun. Fun is fun. Let's just grab a little bit of the purple, mix that in. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. We don't need too much because these surfaces are really, really small. The paint's really, really thin right now, so it might not flow easily. Which way are we building the color? Downwards. So, which way did I do the gemstone? So the light sourcing was that way. So it gets darker on the gemstone. Now the gemstones in the weapons are like, kind of like big diamond, or what's the cut? A 4-way cut on a gemstone. What's the name for that? Anyway, that's the cut. So this facet down here would be the brightest. Just like that. You know what, let's do all three. We'll leave the darkest facet in the upper right. We'll leave that be. Yeah. Do the same thing here. Start down here. So we'll leave the 1-2 o'clock facet, the 1-2 o'clock position. We'll leave that the darkest, just like what we do with the gemstones, where we want to, have that be where the color gets darkest. Sorry, I'm just going to adjust my camera here. Focus, so you guys can kind of see what it is I'm doing. Like something around there. Is that better? Yeah, it's a little better. All right. Do the other side. So this side, same thing. It'll be darker over here. This side. There we go. Go a little bit more white, somewhere around there. That's a little too light, around there. really, really thin. Holy moly. Super thin. Super, super. It's a princess cut. 4-way cut that makes the points up. Yeah. All diamonds are... all cuts of diamonds has names. Yeah. I knew there was a cut. A 4-way cut? Yeah. Princess. Building this level of color intensity just on the one facet, the opposite of where it's darkest. We're building that color brightest. Did I do it here? I think I did. There we go. Okay. Grab this side. Am I even on camera here? Yeah, sort of. And I think we will go with a very, very light purple. And do just the edges. So with this really, really light purple, we're going to go with just mostly a white. Right there. That color. God dang, this is so thin. So thin. Might even be a challenge to draw with, just because it's so darn thin. Like that. Just doing those little gemstones right inside the sword handle. Wait. I forgot I left that on. I forgot. There. I realize it's probably hard for you to see, but it's getting done. Getting done. There. So with this final highlight, all I'm doing is I'm just catching the edges of the stone. That's it. That's all I'm doing. It's a quick little highlighting process. If I was painting this up for a competition or something, I'd probably spend a bit more time getting the color blends right, but again, I'm not that concerned with it. I want it to look nice, but I'm not, like, you know, not entering this into a competition or anything. I know there's so many people out there so worried about making these paint jobs just look perfect. It's kind of crazy, but whatever. When really, like, there's more important things to be worrying about in this world than getting a perfect paint job. Something that is completely unrealistic to begin with. Okay. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of the Minotaur blue or plasma fluid, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm going to hit the gemstones and yeah, go from there. Just going to grab a little bit of that color. You guys even see what I'm doing there? Where is the plasma fluid? Oh, there it is, yeah. So I just grab a little bit of that. Just a little bit. And just slap it onto this gemstone. Let's do one side of the gemstone, just to keep it interesting. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we'll do it on the left-rights. Yeah. Just to break up that surface. I kind of dig that. It's not like I just hit the entire stone in the blue. I just did the like 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock positions. In just gave them a touch of blue. But you can see it though. It adds some depth. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I'm okay with that. So with this one, same thing. There we go. Yeah, that's fun. Fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. Having some fun with my motto. Bet some of you didn't even know I could sing poorly. There we go. Yeah. I like it. Kind of tempted just to hit it with some white now, just to catch like some of these finer little spaces. But yeah. Yeah. I like it. Me likey. Me likey. Yep. I know it's hard to see the gemstones, but too bad. Too bad. Just too frickin' bad. I'm going to grab some of the white, whatever's left. Hopefully there's enough there to make almost a pure white. Is it at least brighter than that last color? Oh, definitely. All right. Just the tiniest little spot. Right on that edge. There. Yeah. Get this edge. Always remember to breathe. 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 Do. Yep, yep. Mostly okay with that. And when I say mostly, I mean mostly. I kind of want to hit this one here with a little bit more of this Nagroth. Somehow I kind of messed up the transition on this one side of the stone. Probably trying to paint in a hurry. Okay. I think that is it for now. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I'll probably work a little bit more on this off camera. But, yeah. The weapons have a nice little thing. I think I'll probably take some pictures of this and then post that. And then carry on work. And yeah. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I may come back on stream later. I may or may not. Don't be surprised if I do. Don't be surprised if I don't. But I will see you guys later. Definitely see you guys tomorrow on Way of the Brush. We are still doing giveaways on Way of the Brush. So feel free to tune in and maybe possibly get a chance to earn yourself. I actually don't have the models here. They're in the other room. Some old school Games Day models. Nefarious. Looking good. Thank you. Kim, I really like the streaming thing you got going. It's nice that you're starting at your 1300. That is like 1900 for me, and it's almost always painting that time of day. So happy with the schedule. Cool. Yeah, that was a question I asked the patrons, whether or not you guys were enjoying a lot of these streams. It sounds like a fair amount of you are, so we will continue on this route. I've been having fun. It's definitely getting more painting done actually, and getting more work done on my projects than usual. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna see you guys later. You guys continue getting your painting done, and tune in next time. We'll be back Monday with getting projects done, and the work will continue. Tomorrow is Way of the Brush, so feel free to tune in for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. It's so crap. I gotta get music. I keep saying that, but I think I should probably just record my voice doing a song and then I just play that. Maybe that's what I'll do. Let me know.